Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. The likes actually do help out a lot. I really try, and this is a real thing. I try my best to not be dramatic. I know that sounds maybe potentially weird. I'm a very dramatic person, especially when I realize that something is going on. Years ago, I told people about the cryptocurrency market in the olden days, and very few people listened to me. I think my intensity came from knowing that these people didn't have a lot of money. They were constantly talking about struggling or hardships, and I was like, hey, I know of something that's going to 10x, 15x, 20x in value, especially when I had done research previously before about where the market had been. And this is really like this 2016, 2017 kind of conversation that we're having. A lot of 2025 has kind of been a mixture of like very familiar ingredients. We've heard companies buying, governments buying, so-and-so buying. This is going to happen to Bitcoin, ETFs, the little mixture that we've been seeing, and more or less a lot of it basically, if not all of it, came true. All the things that we kept on hearing over the course of 2025. That then leads us into the last 2 months or so have been a little bit weird in that there's kind of a new formation on top of the other pot that was cooking beneath it. We keep hearing about yield. If you've been missing out, we've been hearing a lot about yield. It seems like it wouldn't be that fantastic or amazing of an idea, or like not the most exciting thing in the cryptocurrency market. And I'll say it this way. If people don't find the idea of yield exciting, it's usually because they're probably new to finance, don't really understand it, or are content with working. A lot of people like to work. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people like to go to work. The idea of making passive income is, I like getting up at 7 in the morning to go. Okay. And then also you're probably not a company or an institution or someone very wealthy. I had to figure out a nice way of basically saying it. The end goal is always buy something, it makes money for you. Buy something, it goes up in value. If you have those two together, boy howdy, you've definitely made it. Yield, tokenization, stable coins. We've been going over them. This is going to be the thing for 2026. This is going to be the thing. This is going to be the discussion that we're going to have to keep happening over and over. Stable coins and central bank digital currencies are launching in 2026, and we have heard many times that they're apparently going to be on roughly around 3 to 4 different chains, like the coins that we know. We'll see what ends up happening. Tokenization is basically going to be the backbone of a lot of this. We're going to start to see hundreds of billions of trillions of dollars, not a fake number, trillions of dollars moving on chain, on top of Bitcoin, on top of XRP, on top of Ethereum, on top of Solana, you name it. Yield is the other really big part. Do you remember when we had news, I think it was last year, everything is kind of all blended together, when Michael Saylor said Bitcoin is boring. If you weren't here, Michael Saylor said Bitcoin is boring. And a lot of people were like, how dare you? Blah, 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 blah. What he meant is that you simply buy Bitcoin and hold on to it. You look at it and then its price goes up and you go, yay, cool, price go up. What it doesn't do is create money out of thin air. Ethereum, you buy it, you stake it, it creates money out of thin air. Cardano, you buy it, you stake it, it creates money out of thin air. Other coins don't, or at least they didn't. This is why we've been hearing about a lot of these protocols coming out and launching. It has to do with this idea of making money on the side. That is going to be the future of crypto. And the reason why I try to, and if it seems like I'm intense, this is like 10% of what I could give. I hold back on YouTube to not seem like I'm absolutely insane. This I keep reiterating and telling you over and over because the more crypto you have, the more you're going to benefit from this. I keep saying, remember how early you are in the market because other people keep forgetting. A lot of people don't care. Prices go down by 2 or 3%. People leave the market. People flee. People don't stay here. And then they wonder why years later, everyone else who was in the market, who stayed in the market is doing so well and why they're not complaining and why they just bought a new house and why they have all these assets. This news is insane. And there's not many ways for me to kind of give that to you unless you actually hear what's going on. A lot of companies have announced over the course of this year, the last 7-8 months, that they're getting into crypto. And it's been like a healthy stream of these like gigantic companies who are all kind of announcing the same thing. But over the course of 2025, if prices didn't bounce, immediately after hearing that news, people went, whatever. I guess it's not going to happen. And it's like, you need to sit down and really gauge what's taking place before you get left behind. IBM has announced they're creating a brand new platform. It's called the Digital Asset Haven. The Digital Asset Haven is initially going to open up to U.S. businesses and governments. U.S. businesses, did you hear the second part? And governments who are looking to integrate crypto custody, and payment services into their existing financial systems. You know that companies don't do this because it sounds nice. You know, digital asset haven, there's a ring to it. Let's launch it. Companies like IBM are constantly in talks with businesses, with governments, and they gauge to see if there's interest. Yeah, we'd like to use you more than the other companies. We've been working with your systems for the last 22 years. We know we can trust you. If you guys create something like that, we will definitely onboard to your platform. IBM has created a new platform for businesses and governments looking to integrate cryptocurrencies into their existing systems. You know, I keep saying like we're early and like there's so much more that's going to come from this. If someone told you in 2012 what would happen in 2025, many people wouldn't have listened. Yeah, 2025 is kind of far away for crypto. I just thought, yeah, Bitcoin went to like $7. That's kind of cool. If you told them Bitcoin went to 120, they would go, yeah, I mean, I don't think it can go that high, but you know, sure, we'll see in 2025. You know, we keep getting all these people who talk about in 2030, in 2040, Bitcoin being 1.5 million, 7.5 million, 24 million US dollars. That's the looking ahead. That's the hearing that this stuff is happening and then actually paying attention and going, I have to take action because I'm going to be left behind otherwise. Didn't you think it was weird when BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, Vanguard was recently in the news as well, announcing their crypto venture? Everyone seems to not be paying attention except for the people who have all the money already. And that's why I keep saying, because I know, because I can feel it in the air. I promise you I can. When I say things, I know that people go, okay, he's saying it again. You're the people who are going to be broke. I'm so sorry for saying that out loud. It's not a joke. I've been through this for so long. I've been investing, not just in crypto, I've been investing in general for such a long time. The exhaustion that I feel of telling people something, if I reiterate all the time, I hope you are saving money. I hope you have a savings account and I hope you are investing. I see the comments. Oh, okay, stop. Okay, we get it. Blah, 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 blah. I've been saying it over the years. And then I see when cryptocurrency prices go down, I see my views decline because these are the people who panicked and have to sell other things that they shouldn't have been buying just to try and keep up. Because they didn't make a savings account, because they didn't invest, because they didn't put money away. We're hearing every single gosh darn day that these companies are getting into crypto, are buying Bitcoin, governments buying Bitcoin. All this Bitcoin yield news that we keep hearing about. And I can see the interest begins to wane for people who think that it doesn't pertain to them. It's otherworldly to live on this planet and to have something be told to us daily. I told you before, if you hear me say something on this channel that sounds weird or too good to be true, now that can't be a thing. Google it for yourself to see exactly what I'm talking about. Why do we have hundreds of companies who are suddenly buying up tons of crypto? Why is IBM creating a platform for governments to integrate crypto payment services into their existing financial systems? What the hell do you think is going to happen in 2026? What do you think this market's going to look like in 2029? 2035? It'll be here before you know it. Remember 2020? Remember that year felt so long? We're moving into 2026. Time moves forward with or without us. These things are going to happen. Are you going to be one of the people? I told you mathematically. There are going to be people watching this right now who in 2030 and in 2035 are going to go, well, no one told me. I wish I had known. What? That happened? No one told me about that. You didn't invest. You didn't put money away. You didn't do anything to save. And then 10 years from now, you're like, well, the system's rigged. I don't know what's going on. How many years have you had in this market? How many years have you been hearing all of this information? How long have you had this information at your fingertips? I just saw, this isn't a joke. There's this show that I used to watch years ago on YouTube. It's a UK show. It's called Posh Pawn. So people in the UK use the word POSH as someone who's like bougie, like very like nose in the air, pink in the air. Like it's very posh. You've heard the word. Got it. There's a new version of it. It's called like £1,000,000 Pawn. I forgot what it is. It popped up earlier. I was watching it as I was having breakfast because it was the only thing that was on YouTube. And I was like, okay, cool, click. There was a guy. He was trying to pawn a car. He said, I got this car for, I think it was 150,000 to 200,000 pounds. It was some expensive car, blah, blah, blah. He's had it for 10 years. He was like, yeah, I'd ideally like, 100,000 for it just because, times are rough right now and I could use some money. They had people come and value it and they were like, if he gets 20K for that, he'd be lucky. The inside looked gross. This wasn't right. That was broken. This was so and so. He had replaced like the beautiful engine for something that like that revved a little bit more. He had kind of like ruined the investment. If he had bought it, put it into a garage and kind of left it there, he would have got some good money for it. And it brought me back to immediately. People get money. He said he saved almost his whole life. He wanted a pretty car, so he bought that car. And I was like, if you had put that money 10 years ago, I think he was in London. If you had put that money into property in London, 200,000, 10 years ago in London, you'd be doing just fine. You wouldn't have to get a third of what you thought. I don't get it. I really don't understand it's not even vanity. I think it goes a step further. I want shiny things. I want nice things. I need to have this little thing in my hand to show everyone else, look, I got pretty stuff. Stop showing off. Who are you showing off for? You don't care about them and they sure as heck don't care about you. Make sure that you accumulate assets. Walk down the street in it. This is one of my friends told me one time, I wear, presentable t-shirts here. A couple years ago, I had, a plethora of T-shirts that I had worn for so long. I bought these T-shirts for $2, $3, $4, $5 wherever I could find them, and I wore them for like over a decade. I don't like spending money on clothes per se. I'll buy some items, but otherwise it's just kind of like okay, because I want to buy assets. I want to have things that are going to like be cash producing for me. And one of my, this isn't a joke, one of my friends, we sat down one time in a restaurant. He was like, if people knew like that you were like an investor and had property and they looked at you, like people wouldn't be able to understand. And I didn't get what he was saying. He explained it to me because who am I there to impress? The other people sitting next to me eating Indian food? Like what? They're going to go, oh, he has nice clothing. Okay, back to the food. Like it doesn't matter. One of my main goals in life is just to accumulate assets. I want to make sure that the next generation that comes after me is like, wow, we don't have to worry. Because it just getting back on track. All the stuff that we're talking about that we've been hearing about for the last, I've had the channel for what, 5 or 6 years? I don't remember anymore. It's been insane. And a lot of you, I know, I've seen some comments and I've seen people on Patreon also messaging me, hello, telling me things, and it's like, yeah, of course you're doing well. Of course you've made money comparative to many other people because you stuck with it. You're staking your coins. You bought at lower prices. Launching in Q4 2025. The platform aims to simplify access to digital assets while meeting enterprise-grade compliance standards. Long story short, it's a pretty long article. The entire idea is that they say this goes beyond custody. They're going to be integrating with, here we go. They're going to be integrating with more than 40 public blockchains. Yeah, those are the ones that like we use, public blockchains. Do you know why? They're going to be custodying as well money for these governments and these institutions, and they're going to be putting them into DeFi projects for yield. They're going to be helping governments put their crypto to work so that the government makes extra money and that the government is then only incentivized to buy more crypto. Remember I was telling you that before for Bitcoin? That's what a lot of people keep missing out on. Why are all these companies trying to buy 120,000 Bitcoin? Why does that one company have 600,000 Bitcoin? Why is BlackRock rushing towards 1 million Bitcoin? Because when you stake it, which is going to be another big thing for Bitcoin next year, Bitcoin staking is going to be huge. And that is going to allow companies and institutions and governments to make free money from the Bitcoin that they have. They buy more, they hoard it, they give it to IBM, they give it to Ripple, they give it to another custody company. Stake it for me, make me more money. You will also be able to benefit from this as well, but you need the crypto to be able to do so. That's how it works. The news of the day is that IBM is launching the digital asset haven. We are expecting, for those of you who missed, this is a real number. We're expecting trillions of dollars to flow into the market over the course of the next 3 years. 3. That's tokenized assets, things on chain, money being staked and thrown at the market. I hope you've all been paying attention because once again, the rich people have. I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.